This review covers the AMT 1260. It's a 1965 Pontiac Bonneville 3-in-1 customizing kit in 1/25th scale. And it's a skill level 2 for the intermediate builder, released in 2021. Now, if you're into customs or Pontiacs, this kit's right up your alley. And you might know that back in 1965, they sold about 134,000 of the Bonnevilles, and the price was around $3,500. But in today's market, you can get about $28,500 for them. Now, the kit's a reissue from the original 65 annual. Back in the day, most kits had multiple building styles. They were mostly stock and custom and race. But this kit is stock, mild custom, and full custom. This kit contains 110 parts molded in white, chrome, clear, and clear red. And there's 2 versions of the engine, and also included is an engine plate, which can be used in place of the constructed engine. You just put it into the chassis, and then when you view it from underneath, it looks like the engine is there. Now, there are 2 choices of wheels and tires. There's stock solid vinyl white sidewall tires or wider hollow black walls with some sidewall detail. And when you're done, the kit measures about 9 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 2¼ inches high. Here are the contents of the kit, and as you can see, it's got the full glass piece that used to come with these kits. But the molds have been taken care of pretty well. There's very little flash, but of course the usual parting lines and ejector pin marks would have to be addressed if you're building a contest car. But you see it's got a nice set of chrome, 2 sets of wheels, and a nice set of tires for your choices. Here are the decals for the kit. As you can see, they're pretty nice. They're nice in register, and they reflect the era of the 60s when a lot of stripes and flames were added to customs. So if you want to build one from that period, these are going to be nice for that purpose. But for my purposes, I'm not going to use the decals, well, except for the dashboard, because this is going to be kind of a smooth-looking custom, more of a modernized version, I would say. I decided to build the engine, and as you can see, here's the parts for that in a Pontiac Gold. There's also, of course, some aluminum and steel parts along with the chrome pieces. It looks like to be a big V8, probably maybe the 421, with 6 Weber carbs on top and a custom set of air cleaners. So she's a pretty looking show car when you get this one built in this manner. I gave most all of the parts a light coat of light gray primer, and as you can see, we're starting to work with the chassis here, and there's a molded in script there on it which you may want to remove, but it's pretty detailed for having all the other major details molded in, and you could pick those out with paint if you choose to. Now here you see a nice looking set of white walls, which I tinted with a Sharpie and made those red striped tires. Also the backings are simple, but I chromed them with some chrome paint to give it a show car look. They're just sandwiched around the tires, and you can scuff up the treads for a really nice authentic looking appearance. When you put parts together that have chrome plating or paint on them, like the wheels here, make sure you scrape that off on the contact points so the glue will stick to the parts. And now we're going to work with these pieces, but prior to assembly, as you can see, I painted the bottom of the chassis and the fender wells body color, as this is a show car. So we're going to mount the engine. Just look for the mounts, and then make sure you scrape the paint, etc., and use some strong glue, and make sure that it's perpendicular to the plane of the chassis. Now we're going to use the metal axles, and we're going to squeeze the tires onto those in front and the back, and we'll be adding some of the exhaust piping and things of that nature, including a little detail here of an overflow tank that's up in the engine bay. But as you can see here, there's a complementary dark blue frame part, and I picked out the gas tank and some of the other items on the chassis to give it a little pizzazz, but because this is just going to be a show car, so keep that in mind when you see colors that aren't normally what you'd see on the bottom of a car. And here you see the dashboard, and you'll note that there's a dark blue, just like the frame accent color on top of the dash. So I'm going to use that for accents in the interior, along with the wood grain dash, and picking out the highlights there and gauges, etc. with chrome pen. Also, of course, the steering wheel there with the dark blue segments and the chrome accents really set it off. Now you see we've assembled all of the items for the interior, and the bucket seats have frames that go underneath them. You see the metal items there, and these are all custom parts for the Pontiac, including the console and the tonneau cover, which comes as an option for customizing, and it covers up the back seat that it was back there, and kind of a sporty look, almost a roadster out of a full-size poncho. The areas marked in red are things that were removed. Of course, the shipping braces there you see with the diagonal stripes, and also the script and emblems around the body, including the door handles for a real sleek custom look. And I noted that there are two customizing styles for the exterior, and the parts can be mixed or matched for your own style of custom. And the mold lines are minimal, but there are other options that you can do. You see at the base here a custom cladding that goes on the portion below the doors where the quarter panels normally go. And you can add those like I did, but I also filled the exhaust holes. There are some custom exhaust ports that you can put there, but I elected not to use those, and glued that into position. And also note at the front and the rear of the body, I'm adding some of the custom pieces, and they are puttied into place to give that a nice smooth look and eliminate the joint there, so that you get a nice clean looking body overall. After I had sanded the finishing putty to my satisfaction and I got a nice smooth appearance, a quick coat light gray primer, and then once that was dried, I applied my finish coats. Now this is a mixture of silver and white and a pearl clear coat that went over the top. Also, you can see the cladding and some of the trim was picked out in gold metal foil, and it's looking like a custom that you would have seen back in the 60s, including an almost exact match for the original paint color. You can use some glue to add the windows into position, and then those bands across the top make for easy gluing, but you could also use some white glue to put it into place. You can see here that the firewall was painted body color and picked out with some detailing chrome and black. And of course the radiator and battery will be added to the front end. And we're going to add the interior to the body at this time, now that the paint has fully cured. Now the custom lens covers have been added to the headlight bezels, and then the grille, of course, has been blacked out, along with the custom hood, and you see the cutouts there that we talked about earlier. We'll be adding those to the body now by gluing them into position, and use some strong glue to keep them in place, because they fit pretty well, but you don't want them to come out. You see here the cutouts in the hood give those great looking air cleaners some exposure. At the back end, go ahead and add the chrome inset there, the chrome tail light bezel, and scrape the chrome and paint away from where you're going to glue. And also we're going to paint the center section of that custom tail light section a maroon color for effect. Here are all the parts that I had left over, and well, that's quite a haul that you can add to your parts stash. Well, there you have it. Your model is done, and this great looking custom, which would look great on anybody's display shelf, is actually a pretty easy builder. There's a few parts, and there's not a whole lot of detail that needs to be built up in modules. You can assemble this with a little modeling putty and make yourself a really sleek looking custom. Or you could even build it as a stock vehicle if you like. But you won't get this appearance if you do that. So if I were you, I'd buy one and put it on my shelf.
Thanks for joining us at Right On Replicas, where we're proud to bring you the best scale model kit reviews on the planet.
This review is brought to you in part by Ryder's Hobby Shops, where the fun begins. Stop in to one of Ryder's 2 convenient Michigan locations where you'll find a full range of the latest hobby products, supplies, parts, tools, and paint. You'll find aisles and aisles of scale model kits, RC models, model rockets, Warhammer gaming, and railroading products. Stop in at Ryder's today and tell them Doug sent you.